So Nearby Nisha, The Boys Season 3.
Also, you need to open my drink.
Oh yeah, I was going to do, that was the thing I was going to go and pass that drink. We're going to do a joke on it. It's not alcohol, because Nisha's driving, but I'll do what, I'll open my nunchucks. Yeah! Got nunchucks. What?
Skelly, is he okay?
He's
Looks
alright.
like...
He's a bit tough, a bit boneheaded.
I was going to say he looks dead, but he's a skeleton, so...
So, to clarify, this is a Wiki weekend. No, we've not done a weekend in like 3 years. A Wiki weekday on Soldier Boy, but we mostly use it as an excuse to talk about Season 3 of The Boys. So there'll be full spoilers ahead for Season 3 and everything contained therein, so you have been warned. If you've not seen it yet, go watch it. The Boys is a fantastic show. Mm-hmm. It's probably the most excited I've been for any TV show, with the exception of Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Which Better Call Saul, I am like mad hype. But yeah, like fucking hell, The Boys.
Like, The Boys is one of those seasons that I honestly don't think there's ever a bad episode.
Every episode is fantastic.
Just, it's so good, so enjoyable.
Like every episode, like, because I was watching it concurrently with Miss Marvel, as I think a lot of people were, and my weekly ritual was like on a Saturday night, I get my takeaway, and I watched The Boys, and I watched Miss Marvel, and I went on holiday, and I came back and I had 2 episodes of The Boys, 2 episodes of Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
I thought I'll watch Miss Marvel first, because The Boys I'm more excited for, and I got about halfway through Miss Marvel and went, I can't. I need to know what happens in The Boys.
Yeah, there've been times like, because it'll like an episode come out at like midnight. It's like, oh, we really should go to sleep and knackered. I can't wait.
But The Boys.
I can't wait.
The
Watch the episode now. I can stay awake for an hour. You're just straining your eyes at the TV like, yes.
You've got to, and I'm guessing this season was especially good for you because you're a big fan of the actor playing Soldier Boy, Jensen Ackles.
I am, yes.
And I'm not too familiar with his work, but he's a really good actor. He's got a really good voice.
Right, like, there's so much on Twitter. There's so many like people posting on Twitter saying, "Oh, Supernatural fans have been hiding Jensen from us." Like, no, we haven't. You just like ignored the Supernatural fans like calling us and all this lot. And like Jensen's always been there. We haven't hidden him from you. He's always been there. But now obviously people are discovering how good he is as an actor. And yeah, he can sing.
He's a really good leading man. It's that thing of I always wrote it off as. You know, the problem with like a lot of shows like Supernatural that go on for years, like the character's good in this one role, but they don't have much range beyond that, either because they don't as an actor or because they're so associated with that role. And it's similar to like, you know, I watch the show Bones a lot, and like I have David Boreanaz, I think that's how you pronounce his name, I'm sorry if it's not. Well, like the guy's a good actor, but he's pretty much typecast as like soldier or police or FBI man. In a lot of things, so he's a good actor, but in that one specific niche.
Yeah.
Whereas like with Jensen Ackles, like in Supernatural, he's a more comedic character, isn't he? From what I've heard, you talk about, and then in this, like he's got that like Anthony Starr thing going on. Of like, is he just gonna murder someone in this moment? And like you have all those things like the flashbacks to when he was like poster boy, soldier boy. And he's on like TV shows, like they do that fake 80s TV show like Soul Train, where he's just on that and he's like just dancing
and singing. Because I like started an episode with that, and me and Adam just looked at each other like, wait, what? What is this? Because all this character's so serious.
Yeah.
You don't expect it, but then you can see Jensen doing that because he did stuff like that in Supernatural.
Yeah.
Like he was also serious as Dean Winchester when it needed to be, but it was just one of those shows where they had the comedic episodes, comedic timings. But yeah, that took me by surprise seeing that.
But it's really good as well, 'cause in that moment he's playing a character, and that's really difficult for an actor to do. Like, do you see like the piss take of the Steve Rogers PSA they did?
Oh yeah.
Where it's him doing like, don't do drugs, kids, but they have like the outtakes left in, and you see him getting progressively more pissed off, and you can see him go between like Soldier Boy, like, you know, the public-facing version, and Soldier Boy, who's like, get me who made this fucking coffee? Who made this fucking coffee? And it's terrifying, because you know how strong he is and what he could do.
Finally. Is this hot? Iced! It's fucking unprofessional!
Yeah. And I saw some things online as well. I don't know if it was like intentional, but it was like shot-for-shot references of him in The Boys and Supernatural. Saying,
He's got to be, yeah.
It's the same, like...
Showrunner, yes, Eric
like
Kripke.
Eric. He probably did that on purpose.
Of course he did, yeah.
So
he's
like...
referencing everyone just Spider-Man memeing it.
The whole Bobby thing as well. I forget the character's name in the Boys, but the guy who plays Bobby in Supernatural is like...
He's in it in some way.
Yeah, when Jensen looks at him on the billboard, he's like...
Yeah.
He's Bobby!
You've got to put stuff like that in for the fans, isn't it? And
Yeah.
one of the things I was like, as I said, I'm only familiar with him tangentially through you. I knew he was in Supernatural, I knew he'd done good in that, but I didn't know he had that much range. Something I've learned about him as well, he's a huge fucking nerd. Like, presumably you've seen his cosplay, where he's done like a Nightwing cosplay, and he looks, or I think he did a Batman one, and a Red Hood one. Yeah. And his Red Hood one is fucking awesome. It looks so good.
So I think he voices Batman in some of the animated series as well.
He should be a voice actor. His voice is phenomenal.
I know he was in, the only other thing I think that I've seen him in is a very old horror film, like My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, you mentioned that he's in that. Didn't he get killed in it or something?
I think he is the bad guy.
Is he the bad guy? Ooh, spoilers.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Because I know Jared Padalecki, who is Sam in Supernatural, was in House of Wax. And they make a reference to that in Supernatural.
Of course they do, because that was
so good.
That was a very self-referential show. And I love all stuff like that. And The Boys, I think it's, for me, one of the best TV watching experiences I've had, because you never know what's going to happen because the characters are so unpredictable, but it never feels like a cop-out.
Yeah.
Like when someone gets randomly murdered, it doesn't feel like a Game of Thrones style cop-out of like, oh, it's shocking you. It's like, no, because the characters have been established to be this unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like when Homelander kills Supersonic off screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I just killed him. What? Yeah, he's dead. Don't mess with me. Fuck you.
So scary.
And a little detail I didn't even notice until like really late in the season. And I thought that's a great little bit of world building, and it's also great for the actor. Is that Homelander wears a padded buff suit? Have you seen that?
Yeah. I was like, when I see him in his outfit, to me it always looked like a padded buff suit anyway. It just looked a bit weird.
But the actor in reality is not buff. And it's that thing of, yeah, because Homelander's never had to work out. He's never needed to work out, because how would a guy that strong ever work out? Because there's nothing for him to lift.
Yeah.
But he could, because you see Queen Maeve do it. And I like that thing of Queen Maeve works out and gets strong enough to stand toe-to-toe with Homelander, whereas Homelander, who's always just relied on his natural gifts, never needed to try, suddenly starts struggling against her.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking next season we're going to get Homelander, do you know the Mr. Incredible workout montage? I think we're going to get Homelander working out.
Stuff.
Because that's the thing, he's never tried. He's never had to.
Yeah,
he's never had to try ever to get any stronger, because he's the strongest thing on the planet. And now he's realizing there are people out there who can compete with me after taking one dose of temporary V. And my reading of that is that temporary V gives you superpowers on top of what you already have. And like characters like Billy Butcher, he's working out all the time. That guy's like fucking hitting the gym 5 times a week. So when he gets superpowers on top of that, it's like, trying to think, multiplicative. It enhances your natural strength.
Yeah.
And that's why he's able to stand toe-to-toe with characters like Homelander, because he's already strong for a normal human, so with superpowers, he's even better.
I mean, with Temper V, there was that warning of like, you can only take it so many times until, you basically, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this Billy Butcher gonna die next season? No.
He probably is, but I just got really, like, something me and Lucas talked about off screen. We're not even talking about fucking Soldier, we're talking about, do you know what? This is just, we're going to call it a Wiki Weekday, because that does better for algorithm. So we're sorry people tune in to talk about, it should be a Wiki Weekday about The Boys in general, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
It was something me and Lucas talked about, and I realised, like, do you know the moment where Soldier Boy is just going to go like Super Saiyan Final Explosion? And Maeve jumps out the window. And I thought in that moment, did she need to do that? Because Soldier Boy was going to strip everyone of their powers, which isn't that what they want?
Yeah, because he can like extract powers, because that's what we did to Kimiko.
And that's what he was going to do in that moment. And the only people in that room who didn't have superpowers wanted him to be dead anyway, because Ryan has superpowers, which is who Maeve was trying to save, but it wouldn't kill him. It would just strip him of his powers, which is what he wants.
Yeah.
Because he can't live a normal life. It would strip Homelander of his powers, which is what they want.
Which is the main goal, really.
And would make him vulnerable to being killed.
Yeah.
Like, it would strip Maeve of her powers, which is what she also wants.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about the temporary V, but everyone in that room was there to kill Homelander, whatever the cost.
Yeah.
So the only person it would have probably killed is like Mother's Milk. So she should have grabbed Mother's Milk and jumped out the window and just let everyone else get depowered.
I know when that happened, I was just like, no. they can't kill off Soldier Boy. No, he needs to live.
What's
And then
the
obviously
thing
there was that end bit where he was still in one piece, and it's like,
Yeah.
there's still a chance he could come back.
And have you seen some of like the reveals, not reveals, but like some of the stuff they're talking about? Well, a great thing I think Eric Kripke was talking about is people may have noticed, if like, you know, fans of the people playing the characters, that the guy who plays Black Noir in the past is not the guy in the suit. It's a different actor.
Oh no, I didn't notice that, no.
Especially if you never see the actor's face. But people were asking Eric Kripke about that. Well, I was talking to the guy who plays Black Noir, and he was saying, oh, so do I get to be in this scene? And saying, well, you can be if you want, but it's worth noting that Black Noir is a very easy character to recast in universe. And we're going to need somebody to play that new character. Just going to let you keep that in mind, and let me know if you'd like to play Black Noir in this flashback, or if you'd like to not.
Yeah.
So I think Black Noir's going to come back, but he's just going to recast him as someone. He's going to be like, just now, put someone else in the mask and pretend it's Black Noir.
Oh, I felt sorry for him when he was doing that scene with the cartoon characters.
Yeah.
He's like, he just wanted to be a star, didn't he? Like,
Yeah.
oh.
And the indication that he sees them all of the time.
Yeah.
And I love as well, like throughout all 3 seasons of Black Noir, just quietly being the one Homelander likes the most. Of like, everyone is shit. What are you doing? Except for you, Black Noir. Good job. And he's there. He's like,
It's like, yeah, you don't talk back to me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk to anyone.
and there's different ways to like read that. I've seen some people read the relationship between Black Noir and Homelander. Of Homelander just wants a sounding board. Of, like, he doesn't actually care if Black Noir's listening. It's one person we can just yell at and then they never respond.
Yeah.
But then there's like, I think the Diabolical shorts, one of which is about Homelander and is considered canon, where like Black Noir covered up some shit that Homelander did, and that's why they're bros.
Okay then, yeah, he used him.
Yeah, but I just love like Black Noir is like, fuck it, the bro. And then when he goes away and Homelander is genuinely distraught, it's like, where'd my buddy go? He's my bro. And it's like immediately he gets in the elevator, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I'm squeamish, so I was just like, ugh.
I just love that though, he's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Just like without any hesitation, just leaves.
Oh no, it's such a great character, a great actor as well. I just like the scenes. They always make me laugh because even though he doesn't say anything, he just kind of sits there. It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just comedic.
It's amazing, like, same thing like Kimiko, isn't it? Of like, just amazing, like, physical performance.
Yeah. Oh, she's great, yeah.
Like, season 2, is it, where, like, he goes to that lady and he's like, I want you to search for this thing, like, with a piece of paper. She's like, do you want a bite of my chocolate bar? It's just... and then later in the thing, it's like they just smash cut to them both sat down and she, like, pounded 6 Red Bulls.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, Black Noir, let's get this figured out. Always following Butcher.
I also like she has a liking for 80s music.
Of course, yeah.
That's great.
And that's how she communicates with the world through music. Mm-hmm. So, and then you have like the actress Karen Fukuhara, who clearly wants to get a SAG card. She's like, look, I'm playing a character who doesn't talk, that's great, but I need to talk so that I can get part of the union. Because that's the thing with like acting, and like if you don't talk in a role, if you don't have a speaking role, it's really difficult to get like your SAG card or whatever. So she's at that moment where she sings, and it's like a memory. It's like, good, let her talk, let her get her union dues paid.
Yeah, when she spoke for the first time, I was like,
I
finally!
was like, as well. It's like, oh, is this something that happened that between seasons she's learned to talk?
But then when you see the dance and the singing, you think, oh no, it's a fantasy. Yeah, it's not real. Like, oh.
Which is like a theme of the season, isn't it? Of like, people having like a romanticized view of the world. It's quite literal when you have Black Noir. But then you have like, it's more sinister with characters like Homelander. Like you have those mirror scenes, like here's Anthony Starr's like Emmy performance right here, where he's arguing with himself, and you realise, oh, there's 2 Homelanders.
Like, we did that episode on Homelander.
Just before that one came out, yes.
Before that episode came out, and I was like, obviously slagging him off and saying, he is a dick, and like, I always hate him. But then I watched that episode later that day, and I felt bad for him because I was like, oh god.
Yeah, it's the strength of the show that this really awful character, you feel sympathetic for them. Like, you still don't think of them as a good character unless you're like a weirdo who can't read media properly.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about in the 2 previous episodes. Like, you can understand how a person who had no love affection as a child has like unlimited natural potential and power and has no way to empathise or relate to any other living being. You can see how they become a piece of shit. You still don't feel them for being a piece of shit, but you can understand how you would get to that
it's
point.
It's just like obsessed with praise and like validation and all that. I just felt, just for a moment, felt sorry for him. I was like,
And that's all he wants. That's all he's ever wanted is just someone to say it's okay.
yeah.
But he himself can't admit that. And a great bit of like detail in the scene dressing for that I saw. It's broken down by Anthony Starr. It's like, oh, that's Homelander's apartment that he's in. And you look at it, it's like, that's Homelander's apartment? Why is it Homelander's apartment? And Anthony Starr broke it down. It's like, because Homelander doesn't have a personality. That's why it doesn't look like it's any of his own personality in there. It was built for him by Vought to project an image. And the image is not who he is. It's, all it is just like generic Americana of like, just George Washington and American flags and stuff. That's why it doesn't look like somewhere he'd live, because he doesn't have a personality. And that's the thing, he doesn't. He doesn't have a sense of self. He only has what he projects to other people to earn their approval and affection. And that's really sad.
It's not a great way to get by, no.
Like when you see him in those moments of basically just like crying in the mirror of just like, why does nobody love me?
And then that ending as well, it happened at the end where he killed all these people and then everyone was cheering for him and he's just like, you just see it on his face where he's like expecting people to be like, boo and all this, like, we hate you, and then they all start cheering and he's like, like that creepy smile and laugh.
So I can kill people and get away with it, which is we mentioned like the Donald Trump references with Homeland, which a lot of people seem to disagree with. And that is a direct reference to a quote made by Donald Trump of, I could shoot someone in Times Square and get away with it. That's a brag he would make often, of I'm so famous and so successful, I could kill someone and get away with it. Which is like, kind of sinister when he was the president.
Yeah, someone would defend him and it's just...
Yeah, and that's the Homeland thing. He literally kills someone in broad daylight and people are defending him for it.
Does he kill multiple people in that scene? I forget.
Just the one guy just blows his head up.
That's it. Because I know there's been times where I'm sure he's lasered. I think it was in his mind where he like lasered a crowd of people. You're like, oh, he's finally snapped. And then it turns out he's just thinking about it. He was
thinking about doing it, which is another really scary scene, because in your head it's like, well, that's what he's thinking all the time. And that's why his performances are so threatening. Of at any moment he's thinking of just killing someone for displeasing him, and the only reason he's not is because he's worried about how it would present to other people, because he doesn't have a personality. All there is just this Homelander.
But then he just kills that one person, and everyone's like, "Yay, you killed someone!" So he's like, "Oh, I can get away with this then. Yeah. I'll still get the praise and the love from everybody if I kill someone." So
another Trump thing of like, it doesn't matter how outwardly corrupt and evil I am, as long as my base supports me, that's fine. And we talked about Homeland stuff, so let's bring it back to like, Soldier Boy, of just what a fucking character. I never knew what to make of Soldier Boy throughout, because it was so flip-floppy in regards to like, is he a bad? And I think that's what made it so interesting to watch his performance of, like, he's clearly a bad guy because every member of his previous team sold him out instantly. Yeah,
they turned against him, didn't they? So obviously you think, oh, he must be like a really bad guy, but then he agrees to help the boys, like, deal with Homelander. But
then as well, he also keeps his word, which is a really strange thing to like, and I think that's he's an old school kind of guy, which is represented through like some of his views and his more unsavoury comments, but he is ultimately a man of his word. Like when Mother's Milk tries to kill him and just Butch's like, no. And Soldier Boy's like, okay, I made you a deal, I don't like it, but I'm going to stick to it.
Whereas everyone else was just like, they obviously last minute kind of was like, no, we changed our mind, and then...
Yeah. And you compare it to like Homelander, who like, changed his mind on a whim, whereas with Soldier Boy, like you said, he'd do it and he does. Even if it means like, killing his own fucking son.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bomb drop then, wasn't it? I was like, whoa, okay then. Doesn't stop surprising me, this series. It's just, that's the great thing about The Boys though, it's just constantly throwing stuff at you like, fuck.
And it's not just for the sake of shock value.
No.
It's like, it's built into the story and like, there's hints at it as well.
Yeah.
And that thing of, right up until that confrontation, I was on edge of my seat of like, what's Soldier Boy going to do with this information? And you can see Butcher, can't you? Of like, well, we've still got to kill him, And it's like, sure.
Because you think, oh, is he going to like team up with Homelander?
And that's the thing. Literally up until the last possible second, I didn't know what he was going to do, because the character is so guarded.
Yeah, that's so good.
And I am curious if we're going to get the reveal of what did he do. So presumably it's like, the Black Noir beatdown is part of why his team abandoned it. And I'm wondering if that's all he did. Which sounds like a weird thing, like, oh, all he did was viciously beat his own teammate half to death. Then you come back to what Homelander did.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's like a subtle reference to the fact that people, like the things that people would get in trouble for several decades ago are like laughably, comically simple now. Like with the character of Homelander, like lasering an entire like playing in half and killing bunches of people. It's like, oh yeah, and people still support him. What did Soulja Boy do 50 years ago? To, get completely and utterly, wiped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
He hit his teammate. The level of bullshit people will tolerate from those in power has slowly been pushed to the point now you can have a guy lasering someone's head off in broad daylight and no one bats an eye.
Yeah, so you're wondering, like, is there more to it?
Yeah.
Or is that the extent of it and it's just things have changed now?
Yeah, and I'd be happy with both explanations, and I'd be curious to know what people's thoughts are on that. Like, do you think Soulja Boy did something worse that we've not heard about yet, or do you agree with my interpretation that it's a subtle, but not so subtle, I guess, allusion to the fact that controversies, quote unquote, from the past are like almost laughably simple compared to what they can be in the modern day?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's one of those characters it's quite hard to read and to know, really. He's very guarded. Which
makes him interesting to me. That's why I was like always interested like every time he's on screen, and like you never really see a glimpse into the real Soulja Boy. Like when you have him like drinking beer on the couch watching TV, and he's like, the fuck is this? And he sees like men wearing like papooses and stuff like that.
When Huey mentions like mobile phones and the internet, and he's just like, you made up those words. You made up those words.
And he's still quite comical. Then you have that weird juxtaposition of he's like, sees the man with a papoose. Like, men actually wear that? Yeah, sometimes. But then he talks later in the season, yeah, my dad was an arsehole when he didn't show me any love or affection.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that you're disgusted by. You're disgusted by that idea, but you admit that it made you into a violent, antagonistic person. And it's like, he has that flaw. He doesn't have the self-awareness to realise the things that he sees as off-putting and makes people less of a man is the same reason that he hates his own father.
Yeah. That's probably why he's disgusted by it, because he never received like that love or anything. So he's just like,
why
does everyone else deserve it?
Why is it so easy for them when it wasn't for me?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And maybe that's how it should be read, maybe it's not. And that's what makes the show so interesting to watch. And we've got like 5 or so minutes left. Nisha, do you have any theories for the next season? I've got one big one.
Literally anything could happen.
You're right there, anything could happen. And the show has earned that level of trust where it's not going to be something that I go, that's fucking horseshit. They didn't set that up. Because they have. They've set up near enough everything because the characters are so well written and rounded and feel so alive.
I'm kind of worried about Ryan, because obviously at the end of the episode he was like smiling and stuff. I'm thinking, are they going to have to deal with Ryan and Homelander?
And I'm wondering, is that going to be like a white nationalist pipeline reference thing, like young kids getting radicalised by falling in with the wrong crowd? Like in Ryan's case, like the Trump allegory of being exposed to this kind of world, being told that, no, you're all right. You can never do anything wrong. You're fine just the way you are. You don't need to examine your behaviour at all. You're okay. And is it going to be? I'm thinking maybe that's the theme they're going to explore with him. Are he going to be radicalised, young teenage boy?
He's probably going to have a big part in it. Because you didn't really see him that much in this season, but
they're
probably going to focus on him for the next season.
And there's the meta thing. I think the actor who plays him is probably going to be like, by the time the next season rolls around, he's probably going to be like, a young teenager, which is young, white, dorky teenager, kind of a social outcast, doesn't really know what's going on, exposed to a lot of right-wing ideology. Are we going to get Ryan shooting up a school with his laser eyes?
Ooh.
I think we might, because I think The Boys has earned enough where they could do that and it wouldn't be seen as crass because they've lampooned everything else. So one of my theories is maybe next season we're going to get, if not him shooting up a school, him committing some sort of mass attack after being radicalised by Homelander, and then it's going to be like the discourse around that.
Yeah, definitely watch out for Ryan. I think it's definitely going to focus on him. What's your theory? Was that the one? Oh, it's the same sort of theory.
He's definitely going to be a huge part of it because each season has dealt with a new threat from the right wing. And with this season, it's very clearly
Stormfront, wasn't it? In the
Stormfront, the radicalisation and neo-Nazis, and then with first season, it's just figures in power abusing that power for their own ends. Season 3, it's hints of the pandemic. Which I'm not sure if people picked up on, of Homelander, the Trump allegory going on TV of there's no threat outside. Go outside. There's no threat. You can go to concerts. There's no threat outside. Don't worry. And then he comes in, he's got a fucking black eye. I'm he's on stage saying, there's no threat, as he himself has dealt with the threat and realised, wow, this is a real problem.
Yeah, if he's got a bruise.
Yeah.
Who's bruising Homelander?
And that's, in my head, a very obvious reference of that Trump was downplaying COVID and then got it and nearly died from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that, yeah.
So I'm wondering what next season's going to... Is it going to be like, the threat of like school shootings and things like that, and how the internet and the right wing are radicalising the youth? Because now we have that Todd character getting radicalised by Homelander.
Yeah.
Getting his fucking clock cleaned by Mother's Milk in the most satisfying cathartic scene of the show. Just, boom, fuck you. Don't take my daughter to the fucking Trump rally, you arsehole.
I hate that guy.
And that's the thing. I think that's what we're leading up to next season.
Yeah, definitely.
Examining what happens when people get radicalised by these figures, and the fallout of that. Of like, it's not that Homelander's a threat anymore. It's the people inspired by him. Mm-hmm. They're the real threat.
Yeah, especially people who think it's okay for him to just kill someone.
Because we're probably going to get that next season. We're probably just going to get people shooting other people and say, well, Homelander did it. I'm doing
exactly.
Homelander.
Oh, I can't wait for season 4.
I can't wait to be depressed as all fuck with how realistic it is to real life.